So this is our 2018 Sportsman LE 260 BH LE. So we have a living room area, dining room area. As you can see, there's not a lot of standing space. We got the double bunks here. Pretty good. They're both full-size beds, double beds, and then a nice spacious bathroom. Pretty good size kitchen, and then we have the master, which has a sliding door that closes all the way. So this is our biggest problem with this RV, is that there's limited space because there's no slide out. So okay, this sticks out 10 inches past the bunk, and my idea was to shorten it 10 inches so you could have 10 more inches of walking space, because when I'm sitting here cooking, it's really hard for Hunter to walk past me and it just feels really cramped in here. So my idea was to cut that bunk, refinish it, cut the table, refinish it, and then completely remove this bench entirely and replace it with a chair, so that this will eventually become multifunctional space. And if we wanted to, we could pull out the chair, pull out the table, and either have extra sitting space here or have room for a pack and play. It really just eliminates the need to upgrade to the RV with one slide, which would give you space for that kind of stuff. So this is really all the space we need. I just have finally found a way to make it multi-purpose and more functional for our current situation. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so we're in process of taking this one out. It just requires a few screws, which is great. And once that's done, we'll work on cutting this one down. I've only been able to find one video of someone doing this, which is why I really wanted to do this and post the video so everyone could kind of see if they wanted to do this too, to make their small RV a little bit more multifunctional. And this way I also get to keep part of this storage, which is really great. This is all the stuff we had stored over here, so to be continued. Okay, the first step is done, where we've taken out this dinette, and it was just screws and staples. I mean, it wasn't even glued down at all. It came out really clean. We'll just fill in some of these little holes, but it already is so much more open. So the next step is to figure out how to cut this one down 10 inches so that it's even with that wall, and then we'll do the same with the table, cut it down. So, but it's already turning out to be really great. Okay, so just wanted to show y'all progress. We are slowly dismantling this side. So we took off the edge. It was just held in by staples all the way down, and then a screw at the bottom. So we want to be able to put that back on. And then this is the top piece. It had these little buttons on them, and my husband had to, he took his little pocket knife and stuck it under the button to pop it off. So it just like pops on and off, and then there was a screw in there, and he screwed it off the top. So our plan is to draw a very straight line and try to cut down it. This is pretty thin plywood, and there's a few like thick pieces of wood, but that way we won't have to take this up off the floor and then worry about finding the studs again in the walls and drilling new holes. Just trying to make it as easy as possible. So that's our goal, is just to figure out how to make the straightest line and then finish it off. So there's our progress so far. Okay, so we took a Sawzall, And we lined it up with the wall. We cut all the way down. It's not beautiful, but it's going to be sanded, and this is not structural. But we didn't want to unscrew it from the wall because this is like in the stud, and this is very skinny, so we wouldn't have been able to find a new good place to screw it in. So this is good for this one. My husband's plan for this side is to unscrew it and take it to a table saw so it can be exact. And the same with the table, he's gonna take it to a table saw. So, but this turned out really good. Okay, so it's the next weekend now, and my husband has taken all of our parts to use on a table saw. So they're all sawed down really well. And now I'm just working on screwing this back in where it belongs and putting everything back together. Okay, so here I took my drill and I drilled some new holes after I screwed the screws into the existing holes, so I could make sure everything was lined up. But then the new holes were for just making sure everything was secure. I messed up on this side. I didn't drill into it first. I just put the screw in there and tried that out, and this would split pretty easy. So, but everything else turned out pretty good. So we are done setting this piece up. Okay, so we are pretty much done now. Didn't film it all, but we repositioned the legs of the table and put it up top too, screw that all in. This, we just did the opposite of what we did when we took it off. We only felt the need to have 2 of them, so we had cut it and then we just used a staple gun and stapled the fabric down. So everything's pretty good. We didn't bring our finishing nail gun, so we'll need to do that to nail this in everywhere to make sure it's nice and secure to the sides. It's screwed in the bottom, but it still needs to be on the side. And then we have these cushions that need to be redone. So my dad does upholstery, so we're going to take these to him and ask him to cut off 5 inches on each side and then re-sew the fabric back down so we can continue to use these. And then it's a little bit of a mess, but with the extra bit of table, we had to cut some off of there, of course. So we bought these hinges on Amazon, and now we use it as extra cabinet space. So it can either be extra countertop space, or anyone sitting here can use it as like a TV tray, which really makes a big difference because we don't have a lot of counter space. So as you can see, there's just 2 levies and buttons here that you push, and it can fold down or fold back up. So that is really great to have. Okay, here we are a couple weeks later, and we were able to get the seats redone. As I said, my dad owns a upholstery business. He's able to cut these down and redo them so they fit perfectly here. And it really is just such a transformation.